you trust your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 News.
There, that'll work. That'll work. All right. So yeah, I'm very small at the bottom of the screen. So anyway, I've got two parts of the Nailsin News stories. Looks like I need to add another one, so I'll do that real quick. Part number 2 is this one. Okay. So there, I will put that below the other one. And well, now that's the same one. What the hell? Did I grab the same one twice? I don't need that. Yeah. All right, let me go get the other one. Hang on a minute. But yeah, I'm going to draw some pictures. And why is it named the same thing? Oh crap. Maybe I did do it wrong. Will it show me the... Holy crap. Now I can't tell which one I got. Okay. Let me figure this out as I sit here and babble on like an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Come on, get to the point. Just show me what it is. All right, cool. All right, it'll work. Jeez. You see, I think I have all this set up, and then it's just not. Here I am sitting here in the corner of my own drawing board. I just can't win. But first, let me check the audio because it's always a problem. Oh, thank God. It's actually working. That means everyone heard that idiocy. So, all right, there we go. So I'm going to be drawing pictures here, over here in this corner. There will be the Nailsin News stories, some of which I've already done on the show, but I redid them because I wasn't happy how it went and I wanted to add artwork to it and all that. Eventually, they'll all be put out as their own separate videos. Most of them, it's pretty easy. You take whatever suspect, you do the Photoshop, which, I did a stream on that where I was demonstrating how to do it and all that. One of them I thought required a cartoon. One of them is an update of a sad case of this woman's death. And I decided I wouldn't be doing any images of her. She died at a Dollar Tree. So I just took a image of a Dollar Tree store and stuck that in the corner, and it works out. So yeah, that'll be the deal there. I'm going to draw, while this is going on, an image of Emperor Claudius. I've been doing these Roman emperor drawings of late, so I'll be doing that. Then I got to draw some Star Trek characters to fit for my review of 2 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, which will come out on Nailsin Rays at some point. Excuse me. After that, I don't know. Well, time permitting, I'll figure it out, So anyway, let me go ahead and damn. Now I still can't remember which one's which. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You can't see it just yet. So that's the first one. That's it. All right. Well, we'll get to it. And gee, I hope this all works out. Tommy Jordan gives me the peace symbol. So that's nice. Thanks, Tommy. Tommy. So here comes Nailsin News. All right, I can hear it. You should be able to too. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Wall Streeter and Epstein acquaintance Jeffrey Leeds accuses wife of torrid affair, leaving Lube around in vicious divorce. Good Lord. Well, yes, a vicious high-stakes divorce is unfolding in 3 states between private equity honcho and Jeffrey Epstein acquaintance Jeffrey Leeds and his much younger wife, Elizabeth, with bitter accusations flying about paramours, sex toys, and misspent millions. At stake is $100 million in real estate alone, a $22 million 14-room pad at famed 740 Park Avenue on the Upper East Side, a $23.5 million 11-bed, 12.5 bath spread in Southampton, and a $35.6 million manse in Palm Beach. Elizabeth Leeds, 43, is accused by her 69-year-old husband of having a long affair with and being impregnated by businessman Alberto Alejandro Talwil, 66. Wow. Boy, she's really into the older guys, huh? It's the money. You sneaked out the day I left to fuck that idiot loser, the husband wrote to Elizabeth in a scathing February 2025 email exchange included in their ongoing Palm Beach County divorce filings. He referred to Leeds' unnamed lover as a loser, grifter, real estate mogul in another blistering missive. He claimed his wife used marital money to plunge more than $275,000, into one of Tawil's businesses in Mozambique to pay for her beau's household staff of 21 and to buy erotic gifts. So she's already married to one old sugar daddy. She's cheating on him with another old, but now she's the sugar mama. Wow. Something about Alberto. It says unnamed lover, but he's already been named. I don't understand why it's written like that. But anyway, he continues, just leave us alone and come visit every now and then. You're a part-time mother anyway, he once texted her, referencing their 2 kids. Stop leaving your watercolors of cocksucking around where the kids can see them and your crotchless underwear on the floor for everyone to see and your anal lubricant around, he added bitterly. Anal lubricant on the floor. Leeds, whose name appears in the Justice Department's Epstein document dump dozens of times, was quoted in a now famous 2002 New York Magazine profile of Epstein titled Jeffrey Epstein, International Money Man of Mystery. I'll bet. You may read about Jeffrey in the social columns, but there is much more to him than that, Leeds gushed about the pedophile. He's a talented money manager and extremely hard-working person with broad interests. Oh. Well, in one email, power publicist Peggy Siegel lists Leeds as a smart investor and knows politics. While in another missive, Next Model Management founder Faith Cates wrote to Epstein about Leeds. Wait, what? Oh, okay. It says, did you know your friend Jeffrey Leeds got married today? She wrote on March 18th, 2012, 3 days after his wedding to Elizabeth. Finally. Epstein's ex-girlfriend, physician, and former model Eva Dubin also wrote to the financier about Leeds. Jeff Leeds says hello, she emailed in September 2012. Leeds has not been accused of any misconduct in connection to Epstein. Yeah, so dragging his name through that because he knew Epstein when you don't really have anything. It's just, hey, look, there's an Epstein connection to the story. I mean, the story's pretty funny with him whining about his wife's anal lube on the floor in her crotchless panties. But yeah, this is one of those examples of someone's name's in the documents and there's nothing there. Yeah. So, but hey, what a great divorce story he's got going on. Mr. Leeds had no professional or personal relationship with Epstein, his lawyer, Peter Trumbador, said in his statement. No one has suggested otherwise. Any such claims would be utterly false and defamatory. Well, he had some relationship, so I don't know. If it wasn't professional, it probably was personal because, you got the email that says hello, so there's some contact, happy birthday, stuff like that. That'd be about it. And yeah, there's nothing here to suggest he was involved in the island and all that. So anyway, the two may have met in passing, though Mr. Leeds has no recollection of any such meeting. Well, he wrote this glowing piece about him, years and years and years ago before all the nasty stuff came out. But so, anyway, the attorney added, insisting Leeds never went to Mr. Epstein's office or any of his homes, was never on his plane or his island. Damn it! So anyway, there we go. In her own Palm Beach County filings, Elizabeth claimed her estranged husband has exerted financial warfare upon her and is harassing her friends. So he cut up the credit cards, huh? Yeah, including a towel, and New York jeweler Ann Baker with unnecessary and intimidating subpoenas. Well, look, if they can corroborate the relationship and stuff, I'm sorry, Elizabeth, but I don't think you have much of a claim here. The husband claimed the jeweler sold Elizabeth a $125,000 diamond and platinum chain, good Lord, and a $98,000 Georgian diamond collet set necklace, and a $68,000 emerald-cut diamond bracelet, and may have information about the wife's affair. Well, there you go, see? Jeffrey has stalked his spouse and screamed at and followed her during one of their kids' school events. Throughout these proceedings, the husband has sent text messages of naked photographs he has taken of her to harass and embarrass her, she claimed in court papers. Well, you're not going to be able to get him on revenge porn because he's not putting it out in the public. He's just sending it to her. So,
damn it.
Yeah. So she's really scraping the bottom of the barrel
I apologize.
to try to say, yeah, he's a monster.
You missed out on me drawing qualities.
That's the best you got. It's like, no, you're the one who cheated. To spend his money on another old fart boyfriend. Wow. Because I would have thought, the other guy's loaded too, and she got bored or whatever, and she's like, I'll jump ship to this one, But no, she's giving him money. Wow. Man, that guy, he's quite the Casanova or something, Anyway, he even stole and photographed her journal. Well, I mean, were you still in the same residence and all that? So, I had a loving and long-term relationship. A loving relationship with someone I have known for a long time, and I had a miscarriage. She said of her relationship with Tawil during a July deposition. So she lost the child that she had, or after being impregnated by Alejandro. The Leeds are locked in legal combat in Florida, Wyoming, and Manhattan as their acrimonious split has dragged on for months. They married in a March 2012 Manhattan ceremony presided over by former Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Wow. At the time, Jeffrey gave his new bride $1 million to use as she wished. And she ended up spending it on her boyfriend, apparently. His Leeds equity partners have more than $4 billion in assets under management. The husband's current net worth is unclear. Well, it's probably up there, but a prenup a prenup. Uh-oh, Liz. Uh-oh. But a prenup indicated he had $90 million in assets before they married. Jeffrey filed to divorce Elizabeth in Palm Beach, Florida in January 2025. Days later, Elizabeth, who had taken their 2 young kids and moved to Wyoming 4 months earlier, filed her own case against him in the equality state. The couple bought their 5-bedroom in the Park Avenue pre-war building, considered one of the Big Apple's most elite addresses in 2016 for $22.5 million, and have put it back on the market. Yeah. I wonder, was that the place where the lube was on the floor and all that? The Hamptons home, which sits on 4.6 acres, was once owned by the Carnegie family. Their Palm Beach property, an 11,567 square foot manse on a 1.3 acre lot, a block from the ocean, is currently being rented. All right, so you're getting some income there. Elizabeth requests that the press and the public let this matter proceed privately. Too late, especially for the sake of the 2 parties' young children. Other than that, she will not be making any comments at this time. Well, it's all been said, hasn't it? Yeah, her lawyer Richard Siegel says, "This is a private matter," Leeds lawyer Trumbador said. Mr. Leeds asked that his privacy and that of his family during this challenging time be respected as he works to resolve issues amicably. It's a little late for any amicable business here. It focuses on the best interest of the children. We are not going to address specific allegations outside of court, except to state that they are completely without merit and denied. Well, the worst allegations are against her, so, A lawyer for Twill didn't respond to a request for comment. Yeah. I wonder, is he going to end up with Elizabeth after all this? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well. That's too bad, But, crotchless panties and anal lube on the floor. And watercolors of cocksucking? What the fuck? She did these paintings of herself doing this guy or something? I don't know. Jeez Louise. Oh, well. Hopefully they can move on and at least put up a good friendly front for the kids and find someone else. Yeah. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, people should stop farting in public. Sure, they sound funny, but they also really stink.
That's true. School secretary, 31, accused of having sex with 2 students after her husband catches her home with one of them. Oh, no. So a married Indiana high school secretary allegedly had sex with 2 students and was beaten up by her husband when he caught her during one of the trysts. So now he's going to have some charge. Alicia Hughes' disturbing behavior was uncovered by cops after cops got a call for a battery over the weekend. The hubby had allegedly just found Hughes, a secretary at Randolph Eastern School Corporation, with an 18-year-old student and confronted them. So he's 18, but still in a position of, well, she's not one of the teachers, but I guess it would still, you know, she's the secretary of the school, so there's some amount of authority, position, that kind of thing. Anyway, he then beat her up, and the incident is under investigation by the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. Well, you know, crime of passion and everything. He finds his wife in bed with some 18-year-old, you know. Well, anyway, but a probe into Hughes revealed that she had also had a sexual relationship with a separate student, age 17. Well, depending on the state's age of consent, I don't know. With the pair having sex on at least 5 occasions. Good Lord. Hughes was arrested and charged with 5 counts of child seduction related to the sexual relationship with the minor. It is unclear if she is facing any charges related to the encounter with the 18-year-old student. Well, like I said, if she'd say she's, you know, in a position of authority, that type of thing. Anyway, her husband has not been identified, and it isn't known whether he will face charges over the alleged battery. Well, looking at her mugshot, she, you know, I don't know, he doesn't look like he hit her in the face, but, you know. But anyway, you know, what if he shoved her around and stuff? He's, you know, he could still face charges for that. Superintendent Neil Adams, not the comic book artist, may he rest in peace, declined to say whether Hughes was still employed. Oh, no. Only saying she has been removed from all duties with students pending the outcome of the legal process. Boy, man. I mean, she's not even a teacher. You know, the teachers union is powerful. And, you know, you can't fire anyone until, you know, they've been convicted. And, but here, I don't know. Just employees of public schools get the same benefit there, you know? So I guess until she's convicted, and she'll be fired. But, you know, we're not going to let her be around any boys, you know, because this is an active criminal investigation, and to protect the privacy of students and the integrity of the process, RESC, I guess the school, will not comment further on specific details at this time, Adams said. We will continue to follow all legal and personnel procedures required under state law and board policy. Hughes was transported to Randolph County Jail, where she's being held on $25,000 cash-only bond. Neither the Randolph County Sheriff's Office nor the Union City Police Department responded immediately to requests for comment. Man, these horny women at the schools, I guess that's why they take the job. They want to be around the young boys. You know? It's got to be what it is. Well, and she's like, I don't want to get a degree in education, but I could be a secretary, and that'll give me access. And she's still clinging to the school years, you know, that kind of thing, and she gets caught up in that fantasy life, you know, of reliving her teenage years, that sort of thing. Boy, when you peak in high school, you know. It probably goes a long way to the psychology of it. And just really horny. Good Lord. Oh, well, that's it for that bitch. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug Tonight's show was sponsored by Night Night Comics from IndiePlanet.com. Yay!
That's true.
Well, a man's been charged after a decomposing, partially frozen body was found next door to his home. Well, on January 19th, police were called to a home where a body had been discovered. Responding officers found the woman's body on a metal door, which investigators believe might have been used for transport. Her remains were nearly frozen because of the cold weather, and fluid had pooled under her head. She had reportedly begun to decompose prior to freezing. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department identified the victim as Lindsay Smith, 40. She was pronounced dead at the scene. An autopsy determined Smith died from a gunshot wound to the head. An investigation found that on January 3rd, Smith had been texting a man who lived in the basement next door to the home where her body was found. In the text, Smith reportedly told 54-year-old Efron Tony Long she did not feel safe at his house and wanted him to drop her off where he had picked her up. No additional texts or calls were found on Smith's phone after January 3rd. Investigators interviewed a witness who reportedly heard a woman and man arguing in Long's basement apartment, followed by a single gunshot a few days before Smith's body was found. Outside the home, investigators found blood spatter on the entryway and on the railing leading down to his door. On January 23rd, Long allegedly attempted to flee in a vehicle while being surveilled by investigators. He allegedly ran a red light and violated several traffic laws during the chase. Police reportedly used spike strips to stop him, and he was taken into custody and charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and resisting arrest. Long allegedly told authorities he had never seen Smith before, but he allegedly changed his story after being shown evidence. Well, he remains held on bond. So there you go. Probably obsessed with her, got creepy and stuff, but she ended up in his apartment. So maybe I don't know. Because, I mean, I don't feel safe here. This weirdo is, messing with me. But it doesn't seem like you would go to his place unless he forced her in there. I don't know. But, and then the neighbor, I heard yelling, and then a gunshot, and then nothing. Probably should have called Ben, but I mean, it was too late. It seems like it was one shot and she was dead. And then he just leaves her there. Gee, I hope no one notices. Well, they did. So that's it for that guy.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, Congress must act and establish twerking as a serious sport, complete with booty insurance coverage.
A man waited outside KFC to stab employee, then ran up to state trooper to confess. Okay. A New York man was promptly arrested after he ran up to state troopers to confess to stabbing a fast food worker. Shane Vaccaro, 22, is in custody at Saratoga County Jail after police said he tried to kill an employee at Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant in Malta, located in upstate New York. According to a press release from the New York State Police, Vaccaro ran up to a group of state troopers who were clearing a traffic stop and told one of them that he had just stabbed someone. The troopers immediately took Vaccaro into custody. Meanwhile, deputies from the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office responded to the KFC location, where they found a 34-year-old man suffering from stab wounds to his chest and arm. The man, who was not named by police, was an employee at the KFC. Police said a state trooper was clearing an unrelated traffic stop at 10:19 p.m. near the shops of the Malta Shopping Center when Vaccaro ran up to him with the startling confession. The trooper took him into custody without incident while deputies responded to the scene of the alleged crime. Deputies provided medical care to the KFC employee, who was taken to the hospital in stable condition. He is expected to recover from his injuries. Local CBS affiliate WRGB attempted to speak to other KFC employees, but they were not able to provide additional information. State police said further investigation determined that Vaccaro allegedly waited outside the KFC for the employee to leave. After the employee finished his shift and left the store, Vaccaro allegedly attacked him. Police said they found and processed a knife that was recovered at the scene. Vaccaro was charged with attempted second-degree murder after his arraignment. He was remanded to the Saratoga County Jail, where he is being held on $200,000 cash bail or $400,000 bond. So what the hell? I mean, sure, he's nutty, but what's going on between him and this employee, you know? Is there a girl involved, you know? Is this a triangle thing? Maybe. Or he's just weird and decided this KFC guy is going to be the one. I don't know. Or, you know, the chicken order wasn't to his, like, got it mixed up with someone else and he got the wrong order, you know? Maybe it was that. You got my chicken wrong. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Yeah. It could be just as stupid as that.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Time now for a Nailsin News update. Tourist mom had been drinking before she was found naked and dead in a Dollar Tree freezer. So a tourist mom who was found naked and dead in a Dollar Tree freezer had been drunk at the time. It emerged this week, this little detail, you know, as her family is suing the discount giant for $50 million. Helen Maciel Garay Sanchez, a 32-year-old anesthesiologist and mother of 2 children who was visiting Florida from Nicaragua, was found naked and dead inside the walk-in freezer in the stockroom of the Miami store in December of 2025. Detectives quickly ruled out foul play, but a new toxicology report shows she had a blood alcohol level of 0.11%, above the legal driving limit of 0.08%. Good Lord. She was pretty drunk. So anyway, the cause of death was ruled as environmental hypothermia with ethanol, a form of alcohol, as a contributory cause. Sanchez, a native of Nicaragua, does not appear to have bought anything in the store before she wandered into a restricted employee area and into the freezer, where an employee found her dead the next morning. The freezer door was not blocked and had an emergency release that would have allowed her to open it. So, yeah, if she hadn't have been so drunk, she probably could have just walked right out after he said, hey, it's really cold in here, you know. So I'm not really seeing the liability of the employees or the store here. Miami police had initially said it was unclear what the doctor's mental state had been at the time. We're not sure of the state of the mind of that woman. We're not sure if she intentionally went into the freezer on her own will or if it was something completely accidental.
Well, he determined she's intoxicated.
I mean, she was compromised by being intoxicated, but other than that, she went into the freezer of her own will. Gray Sanchez's family has since filed a $50 million lawsuit against Dollar Tree and the store's manager, alleging the store failed to protect shoppers from foreseeable risks of harm, like walk-in freezers, and failed to establish reasonable safety policies and procedures. The suit also alleges that the manager had been told the bomb was missing and hadn't been seen leaving that night, saying that staff should have taken action to find a customer who was missing, unaccounted for, after having been placed on notice. Well, someone said, hey, she was going to the Dollar Tree. Did you see her? And they said, no. How many people come and go from the Dollar Tree? So I don't know. It's just nobody had any reason to go to the freezer at before the store closed, I guess, you know. Well, here's an image of the door that leads to the area where the freezer was, and it clearly states employees only. Now, granted, she was drunk, but that's I'm sorry, but it's on her, not them. You know? So the doctor, who specialized in congenital heart disease, leaves behind a husband and 2 young children, described in an online fundraiser as the center of her world. In addition to $50 million, the lawsuit seeks money for medical and funeral expenses, as well as legal fees. Well, Dollar Tree hasn't responded, but I'm not seeing a solid case here for this. It's, sad and all that. But it goes to what happened here. She was, heavily intoxicated. She wanders into the freezer, and because of the intoxication, I suppose couldn't figure out how to get back out, even though there's nothing wrong with the door. It didn't trap her in there or something of that nature. Wasn't blocked or anything. So she could have just walked out. But she didn't, because she was compromised by the alcohol. And then, of course, freezing in there, the hypothermia takes over. So why was she naked? Well, because of when the hypothermia starts, it's well documented. A lot of these people start to feel like they're burning up. So a lot of times you'll find victims of hypothermia either, if not completely naked, certainly a lot of their clothes are off. And, of course, that's the worst thing they could do, but they're already dying from the hypothermia because of the conditioning that it does, and so it affects them that way. And, they strip naked and freeze to death. It's a horrible way to go, and it's a sad story. But I don't see Dollar Tree as responsible for this. But, well, I don't know. The case will go forward. They'll probably settle and something like that. But so anyway, there we go. Mystery solved of the deceased naked woman found in Dollar Tree. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, tonight's show was sponsored by Night Night Comics from IndiePlanet.com. Yay!
That's right. Get your Night Night comics today. Don't delay.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Wall Streeter and Epstein acquaintance Jeffrey Leeds accuses wife of torrid affair, leaving Lube around in vicious divorce. Good Lord. Well, yes, a vicious high-stakes divorce is unfolding in 3 states between private equity honcho and Jeffrey Epstein acquaintance Jeffrey Leeds and his much younger wife, Elizabeth, with bitter accusations flying about paramours, sex toys, and misspent millions. At stake is $100 million in real estate alone, a $22 million 14-room pad at famed 740 Park Avenue on the Upper East Side, a $23.5 million 11-bed, 12.5 bath spread in Southampton, and a $35.6 million manse in Palm Beach. Elizabeth Leeds, 43, is accused by her 69-year-old husband of having a long affair with and being impregnated by businessman Alberto Alejandro Talwil, 66. Wow. Boy, she's really into the older guys, huh? It's the money. You sneaked out the day I left to fuck that idiot loser, the husband wrote to Elizabeth in a scathing February 2025 email exchange.
Yeah, I did that one, right? That was the first one. Yeah, then it's already time to do the other one. Oops. No, come on. There we go. But I don't want it to cover the super tip thing. Why is it doing that? Well, whatever.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Arizona man sentenced to life for killing pizza shop colleague over fixation on female co-worker. So what is this? Some sort of love triangle or something?
Probably.
Well, Tyler McGuire, 31, was sentenced on January 27th for the fatal shooting of Diazo Segai, then 22, on December 11th, 2023. Court documents obtained by KSAZ says McGuire was found guilty by a jury on November 18th, 2025, and was given a sentence of natural life in prison. Wow, he's never getting out, you know. According to authorities, McGuire became fixated on a female employee and when he was a pizza shop supervisor. He reportedly confronted Segai because he believed he was pursuing the same woman. McGuire purchased a mask and gun and tracked Segai's address, prosecutor said. On December 11th, 2023, McGuire shot Segai multiple times as he sat in his car in front of the apartment complex where he lived. He was booked into jail a few days later after being linked to the case based on multiple eyewitnesses' accounts. Once detained, McGuire was found to have a handgun, and shell casings found at the scene matched the ones inside his gun. McGuire used his cell phone to report the shooting. According to prosecutors, several entries in McGuire's journal detailed his plans to kill Segai. Jeez, he documented the whole thing. Never had any intention of getting away with it, you know. I decided a while ago I needed to kill someone. This person hurt me, one of the entries reportedly read. Well, there you go. It's pretty much, yeah, you're done. Wow, I wonder what the whole story was, and was this woman even interested in either one of them? You know, she's probably completely unaware of this, you know. Just the other guy kind of flirted with her at the pizza shop, and this guy was like, and he's obviously unhinged, you know. And he just says in his journal, like, I needed to kill someone, you know, and it's going to be this guy. So he was probably going to kill somebody, maybe even the girl once she rejected him, you know, or something like that. Holy crap. So anyway, he's where he belongs, and hopefully they live up to that natural life sentence, you know. But wait, what if there's a supernatural? No, there isn't. He can rot. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, in the words of that great poet Ice-T, freedom of speech, just watch what you say.
Yeah, boy.
Cold-blooded, 23-year-old chopped off 55-year-old boyfriend's head after 2 months of dating.
God, only 2 months.
So, 23-year-old woman from California decapitated her 55-year-old boyfriend with a knife and left his headless body inside her home while she fled to Mexico. Alyssa Marie Lira, an exotic dancer from Anaheim, spent the last 5 months on the run after killing Enrique Gonzalez Carbajal, I guess. Sorry. In August 2025, and then fleeing south of the border. Authorities tracked her down and arrested her on January 22nd, with charges being filed for felony murder and felony enhancement of personally using a weapon. Well, yeah, you're charging her with murder, and she's the only one involved, so obviously there would have been a weapon involved. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird how the charges are done in these cases. But anyway, it's just a testament to our never-ending pursuit of justice and bringing her back and making sure she's held accountable, Director of Public Affairs Kimberly Ed said. This was somebody who was in a dating relationship with Gonzalez Carvajal, who you would assume had some kind of feelings for him, And then for her to be able to engage in that level of just heinous violence, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the victim. Well, yes, it's heartbreaking for the victim's family. So, according to the DA's office, Gonzalez Carbajal was located inside Lyra's home, and local police were called to the scene. We received the call on August 25th, 2025, just after 2 p.m. An investigation was launched, and it was very quickly determined that she, Lyra, had immediately fled to Mexico. Well, the knife that Lyra allegedly used to behead Gonzalez Carbajal, wait, what? Couldn't say what kind. That's a weird written sentence. But anyway, she used a knife. It's just what's her name? Ed's. Doesn't know what kind it was. Anyway, this poor human was brutalized, Ed said. Yeah. And police detectives were working with the DA's Organized Crime Unit, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI's Assistant Legal Attaches in Mexico, as well as Mexican authorities, to locate and arrest Lyra in connection with the alleged murder. So she's returned to the United States, said Ed's, noting how Gonzalez Carbajal's family was notified. Well, yeah, this is just a traumatic situation for everyone, yeah. Prosecutors and authorities have not yet released a motive. I think she's nuts, and, yeah, that's probably it, you know. Anyway, prosecutors have not released a motive. Lyra is scheduled to be arraigned, of course. Hopefully she'll remain in custody, Ed said. Well, odds are probably. I mean, she chopped a guy's head off. I mean, good Lord. Speaking in a statement, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer described how nothing, not time, not distance, nor foreign borders prevented authorities from tracking down and capturing Lyra. Yeah, okay, so that's you know, they're going to talk about how they did their job and all that stuff. So there you go. She's locked up and probably possessed by the devil or something. I mean, good Lord. But right off the bat, she's in her 20s. He's 55. You know, she's a stripper. Oh, boy, there's a price to pay for that sort of thing, isn't there? And unfortunately, a really horrific price here. Looking at her mugshot, yeah, you can see the crazy right there in the dead eyes. Yeah. Oh, well. I wonder how many years she'll get, you know. I mean, it is California, so. But anyway, they got her for now. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. New Jersey teacher got pregnant by a student she groomed and broke teen's heart by aborting the baby. Yeah, that's right. A twisted New Jersey teacher who groomed and abused 2 students ended up getting pregnant by one of the teens, then broke his heart by getting an abortion. It was revealed as she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Julie Rizzatello. I think this is an update. Yeah, I think I've covered this before. Anyway, who was an English teacher at Wall Township High School, had told one of her victims that she'd gotten pregnant after convincing him to have unprotected sex with her on his birthday. Jeez. The 37-year-old mom later informed the teenager whom she'd groomed as a freshman that she'd terminated the pregnancy. Not only does he have to deal with the fact that he's groomed throughout his entire high school years, that he was preyed upon by his teacher, who he loved and trusted, that he was sexually abused by this teacher, Monmouth County Judge Jill Grace O'Malley told the hearing of the young victim. But now he's struggling to come to terms with the fact that this individual had an abortion, and he wasn't comfortable with it. This is the psychological impact, the devastation. Well, yeah, by law, though, the father never has any say-so in it. You know, that's one of those sad realities. Anyway, the disgraced teacher who pled guilty last year to 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault abused each of her victims for months at a time. Good Lord. While being paid, you know. The first boy with whom she got pregnant was a freshman when she started grooming him in 2017. She told him she dreamed of having sex with him, which they then did multiple times in 2017 and 2018. This is grooming. It is traditional grooming that I see every week here in this courthouse. Good Lord, everyone in that courthouse is grooming. Oh, you mean the cases. This is the behavior of a standard sexual predator. You're no different, the judge told the teacher. Rizzatillo, or Tillo, also targeted another boy, an 18-year-old student in early 2024. Well, he's 18, so he's not going to be able to try. The sex pest teacher copped to having sex with boys at her home, in parking lots, and even at her family-owned bagel shop where the 2 victims worked. Good Lord. Man, she just can't stop. When the teacher kept interrupting to deny being a groomer. Come on, lady. The judge snapped, "Stop shaking your head. These are the facts." That's right, you bitch. After Rizzatillo was arrested in July 2024, prosecutors said she contacted both victims and asked that they scrub their phones and devices of any evidence. These crimes were not isolated incidents constituting moments of poor judgment. No. It was an accident? No. They were textbook cases of grooming involving a defendant who repeatedly leveraged tactics of isolation, manipulation, and control for the sake of her own selfish purposes. Monmouth County Prosecutor Raymond S. Santiago said in a statement, the egregious nature of the conduct was further compounded by the plain fact that the emotional and psychological harm she inflicted came at the expense of 2 of the very same young minds she had been entrusted to develop and nurture. Oh, well, you know, it's all true, but she's like, hey, come on. I'm not a groomer. You're not? Jeez. What the hell is it with this thing? This teacher sex stuff, you know? Especially one like this. It's like she just, holy crap. What a nympho, you know? Anyway, there you go. She's busted. She aborted the baby with one of the boys. I don't know. I mean, I guess this will be one of those stories where she starts teaching some of the other inmates how to read and stuff like that, you know. Usually that's how that happens. I'm seeking redemption. Yeah, good luck with that.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, a sign of the decline of society is an unflushed toilet. Come on, America, flush that potty.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Man used hands, feet to beat female neighbor to death at residential hotel years after trying to crush woman's throat. Sounds like he's a problem, you know. Well, a California man used his hands and feet to beat his female neighbor to death at a hotel where they were both staying, in full view of a security camera, years after he tried to crush a woman with his body weight by pressing a hand on her throat. I am not fit for society, suspect Jeffrey McAster Jr., 44, told police after a 2008 attack on a woman he tried to sexually assault. Yeah, sounds like he was right about that, you know. He isn't fit for society. I keep doing shit like this, McMaster said. Yeah. A convicted felon who was found guilty of the 2008 attack and other violent crimes over the years, McMaster is now accused of killing a woman who lived at a residential hotel in Oakland, where they both were staying. The victim, identified by the Oakdale Police Department as 49-year-old Leslie Marshall. Police said he pummeled the woman with his hands and feet, good Lord, outside the Twin Peaks Hotel. Doon, 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 in the 2300 block of San Pablo Avenue, according to a newspaper with local Fox affiliate KTVU. McMaster allegedly walked back to his room after the attack and was found there by responding officers with his hands covered in blood. OPD officers took 44-year-old Oakland resident Jeffrey McMaster into custody the same day as the homicide of the 47-year-old victim. McMaster allegedly confessed to beating Marshall, whose body was found in a backyard of the hotel. He was taken into custody and charged with murder. Sex offender registry records posted online by the California Department of Justice show that McMaster was convicted of assault with intent to commit rape in 2009 for the 2008 attack and then sentenced to 4 years in state prison. He was released in 2013 and listed by Cal DOJ officials as an above-average risk on its static 99R risk scores page, which is used to predict the risk of sexual reoffense, but let him out anyway, you know. I mean, the guy told you, I'm not fit for society. Yeah, but, you know, we're letting you go. McMaster was also given a 22 for his level of service/case management inventory, LSC, risk score, which is used to predict the risk of reoffense of convicts and is considered a high score. Well, all the good that does, you let him go, you know? It's not like, yeah, you're checking up on him or anything. Apparently not, you know. He's just, you know, all right, he failed, a failed rapist, but he still wants to rape, and you let him out. And he crushed a woman before and nearly killed her. Now here he is with this other woman. And then the inevitable happens. Anyway, in 2023, McMaster was charged with allegedly attacking a roommate at a residential care home in San Lorenzo, during which he fractured the victim's eye socket. While in jail for that offense, he was accused of biting his cellmate on the ear and stabbing him in the neck with a pencil. The victim said McMaster also tried to suffocate him with a plastic bag. And then you let him go. In 2024, McMaster reportedly pled no contest to elder abuse and was placed on probation. Probation. With his term set to end in July 2026. Well, I think they got him now, you know. McMaster's lawyer for that case reportedly argued that he suffered from mental health problems. Well, he's being held without bail at the Santa Rita jail. What are the odds they don't give him a life sentence? He should get the death penalty, but, you know, California. So. Yeah, he'll probably get out. He's going to do some time, I would assume. A lot longer than the other crimes. Which he got probation for one of those. So, but I mean, he's in his 40s. Let's say they keep him for 20. So yeah, he could be in his 60s, and you know, still capable. Yeah, that's probably how it'll go. They'll let him go. Or they're gonna. Well, he's mentally incompetent. Probably go that route, you know. But he knows he's wrong. He told them, I'm just not fit for society. I keep doing shit like this. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug panties can ride up, but thongs don't because they're already up there.
A mom and a lawyer
Good
owe
point,
$3.2 million to white teen they accused of racial bullying, forcing black kid to drink urine. Ew. So a Texas mother and a lawyer have been ordered to pay millions of dollars to one of several middle school students she accused of bullying her son, who is black, claiming the boy's actions were racially motivated. Collin County District Judge Benjamin Smith last month upheld a jury verdict ordering Summer Smith and attorney Kim Cole to pay $3.2 million in damages to now 19-year-old Asher Van, who accused the duo of intentional infliction of emotional distress and publicizing his private information. Smith and Cole allege that Van, who is white, invited Smith's son to a February 2021 sleepover party for his birthday with a preconceived plan to humiliate the boy by shooting him with a BB gun, calling him racial slurs, and forcing him to drink their urine. Good Lord. A GoFundMe set up by Cole for Smith's benefit soon went viral, claiming Smith's son had already endured horrific bullying that caused him to quit the middle school football team. Soon after, the boy was ecstatic when Van, who was on the football team, invited Smith's son to a sleepover birthday party with several other football players. However, Smith's mom claimed her son was targeted by the other boys for being black. But little did Smith's son know what had been planned for him, the fundraising page said. While at the sleepover, several white students shot Smith's son with BB guns. When he was asleep, they slapped him, all while calling him racial slurs. And worse yet, they forced Smith's son to drink their urine. Yeah, the BB gun's pretty bad. Good God. Smith's son had been subjected to the unthinkable. He is in need of therapy and is planning to change to a private school. The GoFundMe raised about $119,000 and created national headlines that resulted in Van and the other juveniles at the party being investigated by the school and local law enforcement. Though the investigations found no wrongdoing by the boys, the damage had already been done, according to Van's civil lawsuit. Jurors sided with Van, who asserted that there were no racial slurs used throughout the evening. All the boys shot each other with the BB guns. Good Lord. And the urine prank had nothing to do with Smith's son being black. Oh, my God. So everything's true, just not the racial slur part. And that we shot each other. So that I'm assuming the Smith boy also shot BB guns at the other guys where they just shot at each other with BB guns. Ultimately, Smith's son went to sleep first. The group, as they had planned for whoever fell asleep first, decided to play a childish and immature prank on their friend. In short, the boys filled a cup with apple juice, and to the extent they could, one or more boys dribbled a bit of urine into the... Oh, my God. Ew. Into the juice. They then woke up their cohort and offered him the icky brew, which he appeared to take a brief sip, swallowing none. It was only several weeks later when Smith learned that one of the boys had filmed the incident with their cell phone and that she decided to capitalize on the situation to the... She? You mean one of the boys? On the situation to the maximum extent possible. Smith and Cole then embarked on a campaign, all of a sudden claiming the events were racially motivated and that the boys had invited Smith's son to the party for the purpose of playing out some sadistic racist fantasy. Well, come on, this is weird. Van has spoken openly to several news outlets about the ordeal, which he maintained was the result of the innocent, albeit immature, actions of a group of 8th graders. This wasn't me doing a racist act, he told Dallas area ABC affiliate WFAA. This isn't me hating someone because of their skin color. This was me at an immature stage of my life at a sleepover for my birthday, his birthday, doing immature, dumb things. Smith's claims made national headlines and derailed Van's life for several years, with things only recently beginning to turn around. Things are getting better, he told WFAA, but I don't feel like I am who I should have been at this age because of that. Asked about the verdict, Van told the Dallas Morning News that it was like a big weight had been finally lifted off my chest, adding, I felt so overwhelmed. It was just pure happiness. Smith and Cole told the Morning News that they planned to appeal the jury verdict. What happened to my son happened, she told the newspaper. It was a crime. It was an assault. Well, the whole case hinges on the racial slurs, not the piss and the BB guns. What a weird story. You peed in the apple juice.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
And I wonder, how do you prove there wasn't any racial slurs? I don't know. Well, all the other kids said, no, that didn't happen. I don't know. I mean, did they video the whole thing and it just, it wasn't there? So, and I mean, is there video of, her son also engaging in the BB gun shootout? So, wasn't quite like, hey, let's just gang up on this kid and shoot him with BB guns, as she presented it. Well, that wasn't true, Maybe it was something like that, but you peed in the apple juice and then got him to drink it. Hey, he didn't swallow. What, did he spit it out? Or did he takes a sip. It's got my pee in it, dude. And he's like, Yeah.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, bad people should stop doing bad things.
Unhinged mom fires handgun, throws bowl of soup at server in wild sushi restaurant. Meltdown. Aaliyah in Moorhead, 31, was inside the Kirkwood Eatery on a Wednesday night with her 9-year-old child and another adult woman, where police say she became agitated over an issue with her order. Wasabi Sushi Bar staff offered to fix the order, but Moorhead began swearing at a server and was promptly asked to leave. Moorhead then threw a bowl of soup at the server, striking him and other people inside of the restaurant. The male employee tried to block himself from Moorhead's onslaught with a chair, but she grabbed it and threw it. The unhinged woman then took out a 9mm Glock handgun and said to the employee, "You're going to get it," before firing a single shot in his direction shortly after 8:30 p.m. At the time of the shooting, Moorhead's daughter was walking between her mother and the server. The shot missed the server and went through a refrigerator, striking a wall. No one was reported injured from the shooting. Yeah, well, thanks for dumb luck. Good Lord, she almost shot her own kid. What an idiot. Moorhead later told local cops that she believed the restaurant staff were rude to her and her family on arrival, and that she had overheard the chefs making racial and derogatory comments about herself and her family in Spanish through a translation feature on her AirPods. Spanish? It's a Wasabi Sushi Bar. Well, all right. Police said the restaurant manager told officers that the woman and her family drove away in a white SUV, which was located a short time later by police, and the occupants of the vehicle were detained. Moorhead, her child, and the other adult woman were identified by police after reviewing the restaurant's security footage. You're going to get it, the mother said to the employee before the single shot. The St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged the reckless mother with first-degree assault, armed criminal possession, unlawful use of a weapon, endangering the welfare of a child, and first-degree property damage. She's being held on $150,000 cash-only bond at the St. Louis County Justice Center. What a mess. But I heard him say something racist, really. You know, it always defaults to that. But in your crazed, nutty reaction, because your ass didn't get kissed, you not only nearly murdered a waiter, you almost murdered your own daughter. Yeah. Throw her away. What a piece of shit.
Oh my God.
Well, here's a story about a man having sex with a vacuum cleaner. Yes, a Florida man arrested for allegedly having al fresco sex with his vacuum cleaner is facing a felony charge due to a series of other indecent exposure incidents at a gated resort community near Disney World. Well, isn't that nice? Kevin Westerhold, 51, was arrested last month in connection with his naked antics at two separate properties at the Windsor Hills Resort in Kissimmee. Westerhold and his wife purchased a 3-bedroom condominium for $187,500 in 2019 that they now rent out. Two neighbors have told cops that Westerhold has recently been seen on multiple occasions walking around the property entirely nude, wearing socks only. Well, okay, not entirely nude. Or wearing just a tank top. The neighbors both provided investigators with doorbell video footage that recorded Westerhold naked in a shared hallway. In one clip, cops charge Westerhold is seen masturbating. Subsequent to the condo incidents, two other witnesses spotted Westerhold engaged with a vacuum cleaner outside a nearby 4-bedroom property owned by a female relative. A woman told cops she was in her Airbnb rental when she looked out the window and saw Westerhold naked from the waist down in front of a home across the street. The male then walked to the front door and stood at the threshold as he began to use a vacuum to masturbate. Disturbed by what was occurring, the woman called out to another resident in the rental. The male witness, cops say, observed the same acts as the suspect moved from the front door toward the driveway. He continued to penetrate the handheld section of the vacuum before using it to suction his testicles for further sexual gratification. The two witnesses advised that the suspect was obviously committing these acts for his sexual pleasure as he visibly reacted to the stimulus as if he was becoming more engaged in the sexual acts. Photos and videos provided by the male witness clearly show the suspect pleasuring himself with a vacuum in broad daylight. Well, charged with indecent exposure, Westerhold has pled not guilty. Hey, look, it was an accident. I was out cleaning. And that was when I realized, when the vacuum fell on my balls, that I forgot to wear pants that day. It's like one of those dreams you always have, you know. Anyway, he pled not guilty and is free on $2,500 bond. In the arrest affidavit, police described Westerhold as a danger to society based on his repeated actions. Westerhold resides with his wife, a nurse, in Oviedo, maybe? I don't know. a city about 35 miles away from the Windsor Hills Resort. The day before Westerhold's arrest, local cops made a pretext visit to his home to confirm that he was there. While chatting with two officers, Westerhold told of his preparations for a weightlifting competition in October. As a younger man, Westerhold appeared in meets across the U.S. and won several national and international powerlifting championships. Wow. So, maybe sex with vacuum cleaners is part of his training, Maybe it's that. It could be. I don't know. Jeez Louise. Well, there you go. He just wanted his balls sucked.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, wherever you go, there you are. For safe.
And that's it for Nailsin News. There you go. And thanks again for the lovely Trixie. Always a pleasure to work with Trixie. As it is. Cocteau, I will hold my racist comments about the black trash mom. It's too early to be accurate. Okay. Cocteau, the Dallas Morning News was missing some important details about the sleepover story. Ant covered it on Tax yesterday. Okay, I missed that one. Okay. His wife is lucky to have a man like him. It's rough out there. You mean the the vacuum cleaner guy? All right. I guess we're done with that one. I got to do these last two here. And, we'll call it a day. Oh, wait. Is there? Nope. There's no super tips. Well, I did the best I could. I really did. I think oh shit, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, damn it. I can't do it like that. I gotta put this there. And then go back for that and cover. Now, oh, damn it. Oh, God. Oh, the rage. Damn. All right, there we go. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's no big deal. It's perfectly fine. Everything's great. There we go. Now he has proper pants. So this was a story about a planet, I think, that wanted to I don't think they weren't up to joining the Federation yet, but they were certainly dealing with them or whatever. Well, then they had this separatist terrorist cabal, and this guy was the leader of that. The chick was the leader of the security forces. And then, they have a terrorist attack while the away team's there, and Beverly gets kidnapped. And so this guy starts telling her their side of the story and how, they're really, we're not the bad guys or whatever. Then he obviously gets the hots for Beverly because he keeps drawing pictures of her and stuff. But ultimately, he gets killed, and it's the scene of can't remember if it was Riker or just one of the security. Oh, it was the lady. Yeah, the lady snuck up behind him when they did a rescue operation for Beverly, and eventually Picard gets kidnapped too. But anyway, she sneaks up behind him, and Beverly sees them coming, but she doesn't do any warning. So the guy gets shot and falls over dead, but before he dies, he looks at Beverly like, I can't believe you. You let them shoot me. Oh, it's so sad, you know. You're a kidnapper, stupid. Oh, jeez. Plus, his group threatened her kid and all this sort of thing. So, yeah. But wasn't something the Federation wanted to be involved in, except they were trading with the government of the planet and stuff like that. So he said, so you're involved. And are they? Well, all right. Anyway, they were using some sort of weird technology to, I guess, create warps. So they didn't have a transporter, but they would just open up these warps and walk through. Damn it. Walk through it. And, yeah, it worked all right, I suppose, except, it slowly kills them. So they kidnapped Beverly so that she would, treat their symptoms or whatnot. And she was like, well, yeah, you're in pretty bad shape. Nothing I can do. It's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And, but of course, the guy had the hots for her. So, well, she makes a good hostage. Plus, I'm really hoping I get to bone her. And, well, he didn't. He ended up getting shot in the back instead. But, sucks to be you, stupid. And that's about it. But it's funny, sometimes some of these shows, they will ultimately pick a side. They really didn't in this one. I mean, the Riker was like, hey, you didn't have to kill him. And she said, I kind of did. But she had explained herself about, the terror group had killed a bunch of kids. He says, well, shoot, we didn't know they were on there or some bullshit like that or whatever. I can't remember. And it's like, yeah, but it's likely, but whatever. So that was his deal. And of course, like, they got the chief of security is this woman. So immediately, Riker, he moves in on that, I'll talk to her. But I guess he was like, my God, she's really violent. And it's like, not really. But, whatever. So, they got Beverly back and all that stuff. But then there was like a moment where it's like she was going to confess her feelings for Jean-Luc Picard. But then Cockblocker here shows up. Maybe that's why she was like, yeah, go ahead and shoot him, asshole. Yeah. But and that was the end of that. Now, the one before it was another planet that was seeking potential Federation membership. And so everything looked pretty cool. They were like, it's a great place. You got a good thing going here. And they're like, oh, yeah. We've come a long way since they had this terrible war. I don't know if it was recent or in the recent past, whatever. And so, they were talking, we've come a long way since those days. And then all of a sudden there's this alert. And they said, "Uh-oh, one of our prisoners escaped the prison colony." And so Enterprise like, "Oh, that's too bad." And then the Enterprise ends up capturing the guy. But they forgot to tell the Enterprise that the dude was a super soldier. So upshot of it all was during the war, they had done all these experiments on their own soldiers and turned them into super, soldiers with the instinct to kill. And, well, they did. And then the war's over. So they bring them back. But problem is they're still quickly prone to violence and stuff due to the conditioning that they did to them. So they said, well, you're going to have to go live on one of the moons we've got because we don't really want you around in polite society because, well, you're all monsters, So apparently they didn't like that deal. So this guy breaks out. In breaking out, he killed some of the guards. And he says, "Hey, look, I didn't want to, but the conditioning, it's just like it's automatic or something." So, Counselor Troy feels bad for him and everything. But ultimately, they confront the planet and tell them, "Hey, you need to work something out with these guys, and we're going to leave you to it." And they're like, "Hey, whoa, you're going to leave us here with them?" And he's like, "Yes, that's right." And but I don't think he killed anybody on the Enterprise. He came damn close to it. So it's kind of like, he's got a sympathetic story to a point, but listen, asshole, you damn near blew up our ship. You could have killed everybody. Well, that's what I was going to do. Yeah. I know you got a sad story, but we didn't do it. So, I don't know. Maybe your comrades can work out a deal, but we might want to just go ahead and phaser your ass. Of course, they didn't do that in those eras. So I guess they felt sorry for him. The thing is, they all volunteered for this treatment, but, And of course, they kind of left it open that, hey, look, if the government had tried a little harder, they might have figured out how to undo the conditioning so they won't be prone to violence and stuff. But, that costs money, and they've got their own fiefdoms and nest eggs to worry about. That's how governments work. And I'm going to spend money on that crap. We'll just stick them on some rock somewhere. They'll be fine. Well, I guess they decided they didn't think it was fine. Of course, we never got to see this penal colony. Penal. And, but, they said, it's great. They've, there's a pool, a park. The cafeteria is really great. So, things like that. I mean, one wonders if, like, the ones you saw at the end of the show, if, they were the ones that were really militant about this, and the majority of them were still on the moon saying, I don't know, man, got it pretty good here. It's free Wi-Fi, all that stuff. And all they got to do is act naturally, and it's fine. But I don't know, some of them, I can't live in a pleasure colony or whatever the hell. And I gotta go there and be my own man or some shit. And so that was the deal. And I just sort of left it like that. And some of those episodes, you kind of, I wonder what happened. Did they actually work out a deal, or did they just start massacring all those people? Because the slightest thing that pissed them off, And they're like, oh, hey, look, I can't help it. It's just the way I am. Do 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 do. And you know, Picard and crew never bothered to find out. Hey, I wonder whatever became of the guy. They go look, and holy shit! And then they become this warlike species that just goes around because I got all this aggression and rage, so I got to go to other planets and start wars. And so eventually they go to war with the Federation. Yeah. Oh, damn it! So, and I forget this guy's name, but I suppose, yeah, that would be the wrath of whoever, yeah. But, yeah, I guess they'll never follow up on that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Womp, 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 yip-a-doop-a-doop. Womp, 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 yip-a-doop-a-doop. Womp, 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 womp. All right. So, oh, yeah, I gotta do this. 5 o'clock shadow. Who knows what evil lurks on the face of men? The 5 o'clock shadow knows. All right, there you go. The Star Trek character with this shitty ray gun. And the stupid revolutionary guy who gets the hots for Beverly and draws pictures of her. And then I don't know, the police captain, whatever she is, who's checking out Riker, you know. And then finally, Emperor Claudius. He kind of looks like a blonde Ringo Starr. Huh. And it's funny how that turns out. It's downright hilarious. Anyway, there you go. Good morning, Mr. Doug. Good morning, Danar. Was that the name of the revolutionary or the escaped prisoner or whatever he was? Something like that. Well, A. Thompson says Prince Andrew was arrested about an hour ago. Wow, they're going to charge him with the Epstein stuff? I mean, he's not Prince Andrew anymore, you know. They took that away. Last I saw, there were some pictures of him on all fours over this woman on the floor. I say woman, she may have been underage, I don't know. So he's busted. Oh, what did he do? He got drunk and tried to break back into Buckingham Palace and stuff, you know. Damn it, Andrew, you know you're not allowed here anymore. Oh, well. Cause what, you know, like, what's he going to do at this age? You know, he's cut off from the royal family. He's never worked a day in his life. Yeah. I guess being arrested and getting charged, that might give him some prison time. At least he'll have a place to stay, you know. It's a roof. It's a bed. There's a toilet. You get 3 meals a day. Or nothing. Yeah. So that's something he could do. And I guess he will. I don't know. Prince Andrew. And no Super Tubs. Oh, wow. See, I do all this artwork. I did all those videos. It's nothing. I don't get nothing. Let's see here. How long till it's oh jeez. You see, this is the thing. YouTube will tell me I've got all these public watch hours, and then they'll cut them down. So now it's back under it was way under 2,700. At one time it was there. And then how much, it wouldn't take long before it would reach the 3,000 miles. So that's what they do. I guess they go in and check. Well, we're not really counting these as, actual public watch hours, whatever. Hey, how am I doing on the shorts? Well, looks like the Augustus drawing got well over 1,000. It's over 1,600. Tiberius, it's only 337. And Caligula, which I just put up there, 121. Well, isn't that something? Well, everybody wanted to look at Augustus, I guess. Anyway. Yeah, that's all there is. That's all there is. Hey, what the hell? It says there's a live video going on. Oh, it's mine. Yeah, it's okay. Well, anyway, there we are. Oh, boy. We really did a lot here, huh? But anyway, it's kind of a way to do the pre-taped videos while I draw crap. It kind of works. Yeah. At least I thought so. The escaped prisoner, yes. Worf was bested by him in the most Worf way possible by allowing a tower the big shipping containers. Fortunately, the containers were all empty. I mean, it fell on him, and so it's like, oh geez, if these are really heavy, he's in serious trouble there, injury and whatnot. But then he just gets up and tosses it all around. So, and he's like, whoa, he's all mad. But these things happen. Yeah, Worf. It was Worf. All right. Well, I guess that's it. We'll do it again someday. And that's all she wrote. So, oh boy. Once again, just want to thank the lovely Trixie Turner for helping out with Nailsin News. Because, oh my goodness, that's so very important. Why is it showing that? Oh, wait a minute. I don't want that playing just yet. Damn it. Where is it playing? Show me. Show me. There it is. I'll shut that up right now. So anyway, I guess I could, I don't know. I'll probably do another one. I guess it'll be Friday morning by then. And that'll be it for the weekend. So, that's something. It is. So anyway, have a good rest of your day. And I'll hopefully talk to you again soon.
Just your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. everybody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.
And now commentary from our very own Trixie Turner. Trixie?
Doug, wherever you go, there you are.